Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with part 2 of my comic book pickups. These are the back issues that I picked up at my comic book store. They had this sale where all back issues were $1. So I picked up about 20 issues. So I wanted to share these as well. First thing I want to share is I actually got this when I picked up my new issues. It's a Marvel sampler. On one side it has they already had this in Wolverine 300. It's just a little snippet of Wolverine with Cloak talking about Sabretooth. But which is weird because Wolverine acts as like he doesn't know how Sabretooth is back. But in the Jason Aaron story arc, he set up Sabretooth as the new crime lord of Asia. So the hell. But yeah, and on the other side, it has some Spider-Man things. It has a little bit of Spider-Man, which is going to be a miniseries where Peter Parker 616 Spider-Man meets up with Ultimate Spider-Man, the new Ultimate Spider-Man. So that seems interesting. The artwork is really cool. Plus, it also has a little bit of Avenging Spider-Man, which is going to have featured the first team up between Spider-Man and the new Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. This I do want to talk about. I really don't like the costume for Captain Marvel. The Miss Marvel costume was really cool, and I don't like this costume at all. But it's Marvel; they know what they're doing, I guess. Plus, they also talk about the storyline that's going to continue after Ends of the Earth, which is going to feature the Lizard and Morbius, the living vampire. So that looks interesting too. So. Looking forward to that. Might pick this up, and no. So yeah, that was a freebie from my comic book store. Most of the issues that they had in the back issue bins, I already had, and I guess they were already plucked clean because they didn't have that much. They did have a lot of Action Comics that I'm missing, but I didn't have that much money left because it was a huge month, and so I only had like $20 to spend. That's why I only picked up 20. But I did pick up some Action Comics that I needed. I picked up Action Comics issue 0. This concludes the first story arc with Conduit, which was Clark Kent, who's actually Clark Kent's old friend Kenny Braveman, who got kryptonite powers when Kal-El landed on Earth. Conduit actually became a big villain because he figured out that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person, so he went after Clark Kent's family. So Conduit was a really cool villain that they introduced, and he could shoot kryptonite beams and everything. But I don't think they used him as well as they should, and I definitely hope they bring him back because he was a really cool villain. Another interesting note is that these came out during Zero Hour, that's why they're these Zero issues. But DC announced that they're going to release a new wave of Zero issues, explaining little bits and pieces of the New 52. So now chronologically, there's going to be 2 Zero issues in DC Universe. So I thought that was interesting. But all in all, good issue. I really like this one. Also picked up Action Comics 685, featuring the Phantom Stranger. I really like this cover. My goal is to pick up every issue of Superman, Adventures of Superman, and Action Comics since the 1986 John Byrne relaunch. I already have every issue of Adventures of Superman. Superman Volume 2, I'm missing 2 issues, and I'm missing a whole bunch of issues from Action Comics, but this was a really cool crossover between the Phantom Stranger and Superman. So yeah, I really like this one. Picked up Action Comics 645. I actually saw this issue on one of ECW's ECW fans' video. He mentioned on that video that this was Maxima's first appearance. So when I saw it in the back issue bins, I just had to pick it up because Maxima was a really cool character. Her thing was that she wanted to marry Superman, because she wanted the perfect mate for her because she was queen of her own planet. And she had telekinetic powers and can do a whole bunch of stuff. But this is her first appearance. So in issue 645, so I had to pick it up. And I picked up issue 648, which features Metallo. Brainiac rescues Metallo and sends him after Superman. This was part of the Brainiac trilogy. It ran in Action Comics. I don't have that many of those. Picked up issue 651 of Action Comics, featuring the return of Maxima. It also ties into the Day of the Krypton Man, which was when the Eradicator was taking control of Superman and turning him more Kryptonian. Also picked up Action Comics issue 660. I really like this cover with the Grim Reaper sporting the Superman symbol, and this is the death of Luthor. Lex Luthor had got cancer from wearing the kryptonite ring for so long. He lost his hand and he was dying, and this is the issue where he supposedly dies, but he actually fakes his death so he can clone a new body and become Lex Luthor 2. But this is the issue where he actually dies, and I was missing this, so yeah. Picked up issue 663, which ties into the Time and Time Again. After a battle with Booster Gold and one of the Linear Men, Superman gets thrown into the timeline, and he goes into the far future with the Legion, and into the far past with like Camelot. But I thought this one was interesting because he gets time displaced and he joins a circus. That's why on the poster there it's the Amazing Samson, and he's like the strong guy for the circus. I thought this was interesting, and I didn't have this issue, so yeah. Picked up Action Comics 711. No, it's literally like 711. Featuring the last battle between Superman and Conduit. Like I said before, Conduit goes after Superman's family, so he decides to abandon his Clark Kent persona. And but Conduit is still after him. He abducts Superman and puts him into this recreation of Smallville full of robots and everything. And they have their final battle because they kill off Conduit in this issue. Which again, I still think is a damn shame because Conduit, his costume design I thought was really cool. His power was interesting. And again, he had the knowledge of Clark Kent being Superman. So I thought he was a really good villain. Just a shame they got rid of him so fast. Went really far ahead with Action Comics 824, where Superman has his battle with Prius, which was introduced in a storyline where Superman gets stuck in Kandor, and this lady brainwashes him into thinking that it's still Krypton, so he never left Krypton. And then this guy comes out of Kandor, but he mutates somewhat. So I always wondered what happened with this guy because I didn't collect Action back then. Only Superman Adventures. Like I said, I'm trying to make my way into collecting all of the Action books again. But yeah, really good issue. I want to get the one following this one because that's when Superman has his fight with Gog and the Intelligent Doomsday. So yeah. Picked up Action Comics 835, which is actually the first comic book appearance of Livewire in the main DC universe. Livewire was a villain in the Superman animated series, but they brought her into the main universe. So this is her origin and first appearance issue. She's like Electro. She has electric powers and can travel, like through power lines and everything. But she had a big part in one of the future storylines of Action Comics. So yeah, I didn't know this was her first issue until I looked it up. So really cool. Picked up Action Comics 846, which is the last part of the Last Sun storyline where General Zod escapes the Phantom Zone and helps release a whole bunch of Phantom Zone criminals and invade Earth. So I thought this was really cool because it's with Jeff Johns and Richard Donner, who directed the first and part of the second movie. So yeah, cool. Picked up issue 889 of Action Comics, which is the last issue featuring Flamebird and Nightwing. The storyline that Greg Rucka was building up to. They defeat the false Rao that weird Kryptonian god thing created. But I really liked the cover, and like I said, I really like Greg Rucka's writing, even though a lot of people didn't like this because it didn't focus on Superman and focused again on Nightwing and Flamebird. But it also had a really cool Captain Atom backup, which I also enjoyed. Um, Picked up some Detective. Picked up Detective Comics 856 featuring a Batwoman. I actually got the first, I think it was Detective Comics 854, free at a Comic Con, and I really liked it, but I didn't pick up Detective back then. And then these issues got really scarce because this whole Batwoman uh, part that Detective was doing got really popular, so it got really scarce, especially because the issues with J.H. Williams III's art. It was really cool, so I saw this there. Because I was going to pick up more Action Comics. They had a whole bunch of action Comics I was missing. But they had these issues of Detective, so I had to pick them up. So I got 856, 858, which actually tells a little bit more of the origin of Batwoman. And I got 861, featuring the Dick Grayson Batman. Also had these backup stories with The Question, Renee Montoya. And I got issue 863. So yeah, I really cool. I really liked. Again, I don't know why I didn't pick up Detective Comics after reading that issue with Batwoman, but I like these. I actually read them and I thought they were really cool. I'm gonna have to track down all of Greg Rucka's run on Detective with Batwoman. Picked up one of the only two Fantastic Four issues that they had left. This is Fantastic Four 391, and I picked it up because of that really cool Galactus cover. Very reminiscent of, if the Silver Surfer was around here, it would look just like his first appearance on Fantastic Four, where he had the Fantastic Four running from Galactus, and Galactus was here with the Silver Surfer. That's why I picked this one up, because I thought it was really cool. And I picked up Fantastic Four 570, which I was really surprised that they had there, because this is the first part of Solve Everything, where Reed Richards, they introduced Bentley here, and Reed Richards meets up with the Council of Reeds. I didn't think I was going to find this issue for $1, but they had it there, so I'm really happy about that. Also, I want to collect all of the Age of Apocalypse, and the only one they had there was Factor X, which is the X Factor version of the Age of Apocalypse, where Scott Summers and Havoc are, evil along with the Beast. This is actually not the original book. This is the extra edition. Let me focus this. I don't know if this is a reprint or something that they did. It doesn't say it's a second edition, but it's not the first printing. The characters here look kind of like ghosts, and in the regular edition they look more solid. But again, I'm trying to track down all of the Age of Apocalypse issues. I'm missing the 4th issue of Factor X. I'm missing 2 from X Generation. All of the issues of Excalibur, and all of the issues of Gambit and the Eternals. But I really like the Age of Apocalypse, and I really like the new ongoing series, so that's why I'm trying to track down these. So yeah, really cool. And the last book I picked up is Uncanny X-Men Annual 96, which I'm surprised I didn't own this until I saw it. I'm like, hey, I don't have this. But it features Bishop, and it features his sister Shard, who's now a hologram, which I never got how she got it turned into a hologram, but it does have a good moment between Bishop and Shard. Explains a little bit more of their origins and everything. I'm still upset that they made Bishop into a bad guy. During the Second Coming thing. No, not it was. Well, it was when they introduced Hope Summers. They turned Bishop into a bad guy because Bishop was a really cool character. They actually had his first appearance for $1, but I already have it. I might go back again and pick it up. For trade, so I can trade it with someone. But they had his first appearance which for $1, which I thought was cool. But I really like Bishop. Even though he played a sort of big part in the Onslaught thing, because he was the only one that was waiting for that, for someone to betray the X-Men. And then he played a very key role in the Age of Apocalypse. He's the main reason why Age of Apocalypse Magneto wanted to restore everything back to order. So, I don't know. The fact that they turned him evil, I didn't agree with the reasoning behind that, but, well, it's ancient history now. So, yeah, that was the back issue pickup video. Uh, I really liked the books I picked up. Like always, I like to make a recommendation, and back issue wise, I'm gonna go with this one. I thought this was really really cool, and again, it sets up a whole bunch of things with Bentley and the Council of Reed. So this one's a good pick, and I'm gonna go with all the way at the bottom here. With this one, I thought this was a really good crossover with, it's an action comic book, but featuring the Phantom Stranger. Phantom Stranger's an interesting character. Not much is known about him. I think they might have revealed one of his possible origins in Secret Origins, but and they're gonna reintroduce him in the New 52 as something else. I think he's supposed to be Judas, the guy that betrayed Jesus Christ. But that's an interesting origin to give to the Phantom Stranger. I think that's like whoa. But let's see what they do with that. But like always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked or enjoyed hearing me ramble about these comic books. Like always, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78 signing off.